start the live stream now. And I don't know if I actually have an automatic thing that's hey, wait, no. Boop. It's happening.
We're doing this, man. We're making this a reality.
Yeah, I don't know how well the sound is. Let's do a sound check before the game starts. How about that?
Sounds good.
Before the game starts.
Get some echo.
How about that?
Sounds good.
Before the game starts.
Get some echo.
How about that?
Sounds good.
Before the game starts.
Get some echo.
Perfect.
I'm down.
That's all I needed was the echo.
Oh, man. So we're just waiting for TiensiNoAkuma to get in game?
Yeah, he's a very popular Katarina player.
Okay.
He's like world best with Skara. Like him and Skara were #1 forever.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've seen a lot of Katarinas don't have a lot of coherency when it comes to their kill hopping. Oh yeah, 1,000 games. That'll get you some expertise.
1,033 ranked games in Season 2 with Katarina.
Yeah.
Season 1.
Second place comes Zhao with 160. Pretty much neck and neck up until the ending. That's what I'm seeing.
It's pretty much Katarina.
Well, what's his KDR? I want to see that. Okay, yeah. Well,
this is Season 1, and he played 300. So his, holy shit, his KDA is 3.3 in Season 1, and then Season 2 is 3.2. So I hope his run rate about the same.
oh yeah, once you factor in those games where your team gets stomped and the moment you try and do anything, you get blown up, it's going to affect your KDA for the negative.
Yeah.
Get that out of here.
You're
Oh,
not even in the frame anyway. I
good.
need to get a new camera. My camera's
We need to get a new
not as
face.
good. Nonsense. Yeah, dead people. Yeah.
Hey,
Oh man,
Maokai.
who is that caster? Somebody kept calling Maokai Maoki forever, for like 6 months.
That's
Oh,
beautiful.
it drove me crazy.
I would
was
actually-
like, Maoki?
After a certain
How
point, I
did
would
that
just hang on to it as part of my identity.
Yeah, I think he pretty much did, but then he got so much hate for it. He kind of had to change it. Because it wasn't one of those things to where you did it and then it was just so wrong that it was good. It was just
It's the kind
so
of thing
bad
that
it was
started
just
to
bad forever.
drive people away.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Loved
like,
ones,
This guy
relationships.
doesn't know what he's talking about. He's fucking calling Maokai Maoki. It was really funny though. I was like, Maoki, who the hell? I was like, I thought it was a player name. I was like, I've never heard that name before. Who is that? I was like, I don't see anybody
coming in.
with a name that starts with an M. Did I miss something? Is he on an alternate champion or?
The closest thing I can
Oh,
think
so-
of would be Mauk. Are you kidding me?
I couldn't even put it piece it together.
That's
it did
pretty
not piece
awesome.
it together until someone was like, "Why is he saying Maoki?
I know.
It's Maokai."
There's
I was
so-
like, "Oh."
There are some names where, you can excuse a tiny bit of variability, like you've got Shaco or Shaco, and
Yeah.
it's down to preference. But then there's some, like, you can't mess up a Mumu. A Mumu? What are
I've
you
not
going
heard
to
that.
do? Yeah, you
Yeah.
never will. And Maokai, M-A-O, makes a Mao.
Yeah. Meow. Meow. Hurry up and get it. I hate high yellow people. It's almost 2,600. It's going to take him like 30 minutes to get a game, probably. And his game is not spectatable.
That's a pity.
I don't know how long it'll take. We'll find out. But my viewers really want to see him, so. Yeah, I was trying to figure out a way to automatically toggle between like the total gold that everybody has and then the items
With just a hotkey?
with a hotkey, but there's no hotkey for it.
Ugh.
And so I was like, that sucks, because what I was going to do is, the way I like it is, like, I'd rather see the gold than the builds and just have the caster, swap through the champions so you get to see their builds from time to time, because builds aren't going to change that much.
They're not going to
over
change
time.
instantly, but you do want to keep track of who
Yeah.
has a concrete gold advantage, and you can say this person's got a kill
Yeah.
and 10 CS more, but they've picked up 2 dragons in a tower. Who's really ahead?
Yeah, but then you can also see the difference between, like, just because someone has more gold doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be more powerful at certain times, because if they have 3,000 gold in their pocket
and they still haven't
and they haven't like left to buy it, then the other person's going to be more powerful. And they may be behind in levels at that time.
Or you have the case of a character that's only staying in lane farming because they've dropped so much cash on potions and wards to stay alive and not get ganked that they technically are ahead, but they're not actually using it for their concrete advantages that'll last into the game.
Yeah, but gold swings happen a lot more frequently than just like massive item builds. Like, you can tell when there's going to be massive item builds. Like right before Baron, then everybody on the team will go back. Like after a team fight, you'll take a tower and a dragon, and then you'll all go back at the same time for the most part.
Yeah, so that
and then you go back to the items. And you're like, oh hey, item spot, and then you go back to the gold and see what's changed and things like that. But yeah, I was trying to do something to where I was just going to set up. I even made a script for it, which was pretty easy, but and I have a program that runs a script and everything, but there's no hotkey for it that I could find. And so I messaged one of the league developers, and he said he was going to forward it off to do an enhancement.
Tell you, my frustration with getting to spectate and watch a lot of the high-level streams is that I go into my games expecting my team to be this well-oiled NASCAR pit crew machine, right? And they're derping around, the other lane opponents are derping around, no one's cooperating. I'm like, let's make some plays, and everyone just kind of sits there, charges into the turret and dies. Even worse is when you watch a high elo player smurf.
Oh my god.
They're playing against, you know, I'm in the 1400 range right now, and you watch someone smurf 1400s, and they're just crushing them mercilessly, and then I play, and I think I'm getting the people who are smurfing at 1400 on the other team, because they're always just zoning perfectly, and these coordinated four-man ganks out of nowhere.
Yeah, I hate that. It's pretty annoying. Luckily, it runs that very frequently.
Well, then again, we used to do that back in Season 1 when we vented, and we shared the vent info with a team of solo queues, and we turned it into a 5-man pre-made.
Oh, fuck yeah. That was the easiest way to get ELO, is just get everybody in Ventrilo. But now, like, everybody uses Skype, and it's so much more of a process to add everybody on Skype.
Yeah, and get them to join the call and stuff.
Yeah, it's just too much work.
But, the real cool thing about it was that if someone made a big stupid mistake but they were in chat with you, it was a lot harder for people to start calling each other out and call each other trolls and want to quit and AFK.
Yeah.
Because if you've got someone voice to voice with you, you're more likely to see them less as a random troll and more of a teammate. And in a team game, it's like that's exactly what you need.
Yeah. We need the teamwork. I should probably have this.
Of course, we were also playing back in the days before we'd caught on to the European metagame, so we were doing Urgot and Nivea bottom lane. And
dude, that was pro.
It was so good.
Was it Urgot? No, Sinzillion. Oh, that lane.
Oh, that was...
That lane
back
was
when we were leveling, you had the speed up. You'd bomb me as I charged in. I'd throw them back. And
I'd slow them or whatever. Oh, man, that was...
I miss the days. It's like, if you want to relive them, you can always just smurf, but then you're fighting other smurfs.
It still works. You just have to have like an Urgot in mid lane or something, and then a AP and like a Rumble top, and you can still do it. It's just
you need
unconventional.
You need just enough of the real metagame so your team isn't actually terrible.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, it's proven to work, but they're mixing it up now.
Check his Fiora stuff. I really want to make her good. I don't know how to do that.
I've only seen a couple Fioras.
What I want to see is some...
Fiora with 5 teammates.
I want to see some team with, like, a nice, goofy comp centered around making some stupid build work, like the Fiora Tiamat build with a Diana jungle and an Oriana mid, so that you can moonwell into... Shockwave, right?
Yeah.
Command Shockwave. Moonwell into Shockwave. Into the Fiora. Yeah, just keep them locked in there. Do about 4,000 damage worth of AD across their 5 teammates, and
wouldn't be the worst thing.
And then finally celebrate that you went positive with Fiora.
And then a Graves.
Yeah, Graves, just buckshot collateral.
That'd be pretty dirty, but it would work. I'm sure it would probably work. You'd probably have a tough time laning. Is the only thing. Well. You get enough AD, it's just the sustain I'd be worried about, so you probably have to get like a Wriggles.
Well, I mean, you can always do the Fiora jungle with Diana top, because Diana can go wherever she wants.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised we played a game. It was my first real game with the Diana. She was our mid. And, you know, she'd been going pretty even with the Gragas, and then Caitlyn bottom lane, my lane opponents, ended up wandering mid for whatever. I think they lost their tower or something, and the creeps were pushed up to us, so she didn't have a reason to be in bottom lane, so she went mid, and Diana just did her little Moonblade thing, did half her health, and I was just like, are you kidding me?
That's a lot of...
That's your Q, Missy. It's not your ultimate.
The fact that her passive scales off AP is really good.
I don't know what her passive is.
It's like every 3 strikes you get the AoE.
Oh, okay.
I think
that explains a bit.
It's like an AoE, like cleave, basically.
Okay. Scaling off the magic damage.
Yeah, and it scales off AP, and I was just like, what? Once I heard that, I was like, wow, it's Ziggs, but a little bit better.
Poor Ziggs. Then again, he is ranged, which is kind of nice.
Right
Gains attack speed.
For additional magic.
Okay, and then what's Moonfall do?
That's the
Moonfall. That's the draw in Tail Cascade.
That's the shield.
Okay.
That's the Foxfire without the range. And then Lunar Rush is the Akali Dash.
And what's the cooldown on Lunar Rush, assuming it doesn't hit the Crescent Strike
like 20
proc?
seconds or something.
Okay.
It's pretty low. It gets down to like 24, 20-ish. Something like that. Doesn't have cooldowns on here. That's stupid.
You hear that, Riot?
But yeah, 0.8 AP ratio. Oh wait, no, that's pressure started. But that's still a massive AP ratio.
Go down Moon Silver Blade. Yeah, it doesn't
tell you.
How dare they?
I know. They have like weird information in here, but not all of it, which is a little disheartening sometimes. But whatever. Moonfall's so good.
Oriana ult without the damage, centered on you.
Yeah, you don't need the damage though. Like Pale Cascade. Crescent Strike. Ow. It's on such a low cooldown later. Why do they have cooldowns on here? Should probably buy Diana somehow. He's still in queue.
20-minute queue, no biggie.
Yeah, that happens.
So you pretty much look at your good people list for people to spectate.
Yeah, I was thinking about changing the name when I stream. It was just good people for anybody that was in Platinum. That's basically all it was. Just so I could filter it for the people I wanted to actually watch when I streamed. I was really tired when I did it. I was like, good people, and I didn't even think that would be offensive. And I was like, that's probably offensive. Everyone not my good people is like, what the fuck, bro?
Well, get platinum.
I know.
What's the problem? Oh my gosh, we played some arranged 3's last night.
Oh, I heard. You were playing with Joe?
Played with Joe and B.
Yeah.
And that was exciting. Everyone was bad. They were bad, we were bad. No one knew what they were doing. We fought one team that had Lee Sin, Cho'Gath, and Jax.
That's annoying.
There's only so much tanky DPS you can ban in this game before they get to have the other 3. And I picked Vayne, and Joe was Mordekaiser, and Brandon went Nunu.
Nunu?
Yeah.
I guess the slow
Nunu
down
for
the
jungle and Blood Boil. Blood Boil on me. Because that's what ended up happening was...
I would have just picked Malphite. Like, okay, Jax, Malphite.
Well, they were wrecking us at the start, and then they ended up feeding me 2 kills, and then I just got an early Zeal, and then it helped me stay away from them a bit more.
Yeah.
And just proccing Silver Bolts, and we started coming back, and then it was pretty much even on kills and CS and levels. Like, we brought it back to even. They just surrendered.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, they weren't even losing.
Significantly better late game.
They weren't even losing
of
because of like just the character strength. They were just going in one would go in, die, then the other two would jump in, and then they'd be stuck in Brandon's ult.
Oh, yeah.
So they'd get hit by the full Nunu ult. Joe would have picked up like Jax or Lee as a pet. And so it would turn into this 4v2 in the jungle where I had free condemns. It's just like, just play better, guys. You were crushing us. What happened?
Yeah. Some people just don't know. Sometimes it's just better not to fight in the jungle.
Yeah. The real issue, though, is that people can't always tell if they're losing fights because of poor focus, poor organization, poor positioning, or if they're losing it because the numbers aren't on their side. If you are too outstatsed, then you might as well surrender, because you're going to have to hope the other team suddenly becomes absolutely awful.
Yeah. Oh, look.
All right. We've only got 2 minutes and 50 seconds of delay.
Starting ARAM. Draven?
Oh no, it's the League of Draven. Riot Disney.
Oh,
I love the Riot Disney branch.
It's the best. Okay, so we don't know who is banned out, but Tina is going Xin, not Katarina, so that's a little depressing. Although going Katarina against that much CC is probably not good.
Yeah, the knockback from Jayce, pop-up, silence, Rammus,
pop-up,
knock-up,
silence,
taunt,
grab, knock-up, taunt, yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah, it's way too much.
And
he realizes that.
Yeah, it's nice to know that he's not going to be so completely stubborn about playing his favorite champ that he's going to do it despite the fact that
he's
being
not
a horrible
spam happy.
idea. Spam happy's the Poppy, right?
Yeah.
I looked
So
at his
good.
match history and I may have had a seizure. I freaked out. I did not believe it. I did not believe it whatsoever. I was like, does he jungle? Does he go top? I looked at his build.
He does all of it. He goes jungle, he goes top, he'll go mid, he'll go support. Like, he'll do whatever. As long as it's not banned or picked, he'll play it. And if it's banned, he Q dodges. And then, that was back when like, you would lose ELO for Q dodging.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, he was still that high rated as Poppy.
That's
Only
pretty
Poppy.
nuts.
Yeah. He's a pretty cool guy.
So, yeah, right team. It's all centered around drawing them into a big circle
But
and
yeah,
wrecking
the
them.
red teams can be ridiculous with the... Just the Jarvin and MF ult is going to have really good synergy because Jarvin can just capture 2 or 3 people in, hopefully. And then the Xin can dash in there, throw out his ult. Oriana can throw out her shockwave, and then Leona can just...
Only worry I have is that that counteraction between Zin's ult and ults that draw people in. It's like having a Jan on your team at the same time you have a Kennen.
Yeah.
Like, it'll work just fine because Zin's ult has so much utility. The real issue is if they manage to synchronize them properly.
Yeah. It also kind of depends if Xin Zhao's ult knocks them through Jarvin's ult.
Yeah.
Which is probably going to happen since
Yeah.
the knockback is relatively significant.
If they can synchronize the Jarvin ult and the Oriana ult, drawing them into the same location where Leona can set up, or if Leona can land hers from range into Oriana into Jarvin, then Xin can use his later for just pop-up, mopping people up, and just use it more as a disengage in bad situations.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, like, he's going to try to tank the grab from Blitzcrank, and then just ultimate, and then knock Blitzcrank up, and then the rest of the team can successfully engage at that point, because then it's just a one-on-one with the teams in the back.
Left team, blue team is going to be poke and pick, because if they can get a grab, then that's going to be a taunt. That's going to be a Mordekaiser ult. They're going to get blown up and turn it into a 6v4, so they're going to look for picking people off a lot, and they're going to have to hope they don't pick up Jarvin or Xin Zhao.
Yeah.
Try and pick the right targets.
They do have some nice shields on Xin Zhao, though.
Well, that's true.
Just the Oriana shield, the once it gets late game, it's ridiculous.
It's incredibly useful. And the Xin Zhao and Jarvin have so much built-in tankiness that the added resists from Oriana's shield just icing on the cake.
Well, Xin Zhao's pretty squishy for the most part. He's usually squishy. I think TNA usually goes as offense with Xin Zhao as well. But he is pretty squishy, so I'm a little bit worried about him top lane against the Jayce.
So we're opening up.
But we shall see.
That's a lot of shoes.
So many shoes.
I don't know why Rammus needs shoes.
Rammus needs nothing. He needs rings.
So, extremely standard. Blitz isn't going shoes, so it's entirely possible he's going to opt to play a bit more passive against the Leona lane.
Yeah. going strictly off numbers here. Yeah, so blue team is going to try to do a little bit of a counter jungle. They do have Blitz, so it's obviously a great idea. He is kind of slow, and Leona might just walk right into it. Yes, Leona didn't even see them both.
Jarvin flag. Oh, the Jayce gate. That's going to be big. He gets the flash. Blitz doesn't get the pull around it, so that's pretty useful. One of the major downsides for purple is that Zhao is pretty slow starting out the gate. They're staying a little too close to that for my taste. Zhao is still in range. Blitzcrank rocket grab is huge. Jayce with a nice flash with the swing, but he gets picked up for a lot of damage. Now Leona's in there for some reason. I think she got grabbed. She goes down to the ignites and combo of poke. Jayce is low health. Zhao coming in from the wings. Oriana gets pulled. She's down. Goes to Corki. Corki with 1 kill. Zhao fleeing up the side. Not sure if they want to keep fighting. Jarvin being pretty ballsy, walking down the lane, staring him straight in the face. Blitzcrank's grab is going to be up momentarily, and that's going to be terrifying for them. We see that Zhao really wants to pick somebody up from the side, and he does! He gets Mordekaiser as he falls back. Nice cleanse from Misfortune. Nice flash, and Zhao right now sees a lot of low health targets to pick up. They are going to have to back.
He didn't pick up Mordekaiser?
He did.
No, he picked up... Oh, well, they killed Mordekaiser a while ago.
No, he just
did. About the grab on...
Oh, no, Zhao was hiding up in the jungle above the tower, and he looped in around from the side. Yeah. Now, Jayce is going to have a bit of an advantage. Would have got the kill earlier if
he didn't get exhausted and had to run up into Tribush.
Yeah, that's true.
Blitz did really, really good at being able to zone him out with that exhaust, but his exhaust is now down. I think so is the... Yeah, that's not going to be very good.
Pretty even in terms of kills, but kind of unfortunate for purple team since Jarvin has had to stand there waiting on a leash for quite some time, and Zhao is not up there in top lane. Jayce picks up an entire creep wave, and he got first blood. Corki got the second kill for blue team, so he's got quite a substantial lead over Zhao as far as level and farm already.
Yeah, definitely. And there's... I don't know how Mordekaiser is going to do against Oriana. She's able to zone a lot in the early game, but he will have that shield to protect him for a while, but early levels it's not that powerful. With somebody that can spam spells like Oriana, or a Karthus, or Cassiopeia.
Nice dodge on the grab there from that map. Yeah, and now with Leona coming back in, they'll temporarily have a little bit of an advantage.
That strut really helps a lot, but that's why Corki's just throwing out as much harass as he can.
Yeah, he wants to keep the remove speed down so that Blitzcrank can actually play the zoning and harass game without her free dodge ability from having a 400-something move speed at level 1.
Yeah.
We've got Jarvin up in mid lane. He's hanging out there looking for a gank on Mordekaiser. Rammus is over there on his blue. He actually starts to get in there. Mordekaiser flashes over the wall. He's headed up. Jarvin flag push. Gets over to that side of their jungle. We have Zhao and Jayce both coming in simultaneously. Mordekaiser doing a little dance. He decides he's going to try and lead him away from his ally and not create a fight that could potentially go sour.
Yeah.
So Mord goes down. And that's...
I think if he would have just juked the flag push and flashed over this wall instead of going into their jungle, he would have had a much better chance.
He could have, yeah, he could have gone towards Rammus, would have had the bonus CC, and there might not have even been. Oh, but Rammus is extremely low on health. That probably wouldn't have worked out for them at all.
Yeah, but he would have been
bottom lane,
wall, which would have got them on.
I'm not sure who the engage was on or by. From this position, it looks like it's going to be Blitzcrank. He gets the pull on Leona. The substantial burst power from Corki, that ignite, that true damage, and he Valkyries away. MF knows better than to push in on that.
Yeah, and Leona's flash wasn't even down. She didn't even use it, because most of the time when you get grabbed, if you spam flash, you can actually flash away before you get knocked up, especially when Blitz is only level 2 or 3. Because he doesn't have that bonus attack speed you get every time you level. Even though it's just a little bit, but that attack speed really does make a difference, especially at early level.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Leona would have been able to get out of there, but for some reason she didn't. She used her ignite, so I don't know if she just fat fingered her summoner spell, or what happened.
It's also possible she just underestimated the burst power, decided she didn't need the flash right then. Either that or she decided she was dead and didn't want to burn the flash at all to lose the summoner spell for nothing. But either way,
yeah.
Her flash is still up for future engagements, so maybe they'll get a reversal. MF is level 4 from soloing her lane for so long when Leona went up to leash for Jarvin.
And mid lane, it looks like, yeah, Oriana's been able to zone out the Mordekaiser pretty easily. She's already a level ahead. She also has a kill, but Mord has 2 assists, so that's going to help a little bit, but
yeah,
he is also coming back in farm. He's at 25, or 26, 28, so it's pretty even in mid right now, despite the level difference.
And she's about to lose out on a majority of that creep wave.
Exactly.
Looks like Mordekaiser is going to pick up Wolf since he sees Rammus down in bottom lane. Top lane, we have Jarvin camping out the bush, waiting for a push so that he can go in onto Jayce, but we've been seeing Jayce playing kind of far back. No, he is actually going to go in right at the same time that Jarvin retreats. Hard to say who has the advantage right there. Zhao eats the ignite, goes slow, but Jarvin policing the lane. This is back up off my buddy. Rammus coming in for the lane gank on bottom. We're going to see Blitz probably overdrive in, start something. And we missed a kill up in top lane as we go down to look for the incipient aggression on bot. So we'll
I don't even know how Jayce. Oh yeah, he just got too aggressive and
yeah,
went up and got initiated on with the 2 strike.
Yeah, he didn't.
Oh, didn't even need the ultra attack.
Alright, so Blitz gets the grab on Leona, linking into the Rammus, gonna go down. None of their. Oh no, Blitz does have another overdrive. He's gonna keep chasing. No, he abandons that.
Why does everything keep happening at the same time?
Meanwhile, we have aggression in solo queue, or in mid lane.
Yeah, so much aggression in solo queue.
Hey, that's how solo queue is, man. We're looking at Mordekaiser. He's going to go the exact same route. He's going to get picked up from the Oriana with all the damage. Kill goes to Oriana, going to be another big booster lane dominance.
Since he has died twice, or 3 times now, he died once earlier, he's really far behind. He will be able to come back later because he's just going to get more and more annoying. And he's going to be able to farm really easily if he keeps taking those wolves and possibly the wraiths as well, and just let Rammus gank all day. He's not going to have any problems coming back up and going back into that lane. He'll also be able to farm their race if he pushes up enough.
Yeah, there's also a major downside to having a fed character like Zhao on your team when there's a Mord on the other team. If he does get caught out, if he, say, gets grabbed by Blitz into a taunt, Mordekaiser gets his ult and it turns 6 feet forward, that Zhao is going to be so strong, Purple Team's going to have to run away forever. They won't even be able to fight him. They'll have to use all their focus on him while Blue takes a tower.
Definitely. And this is going to be a free tower, but we'll see if that happens, when it happens, or if it happens. But hopefully we get to see something crazy like that. The interesting thing about the red team, though, is that pretty much everybody that...
We see that Jayce completely underestimates Zhao's damage, but now without his initial burst from the Audacious Charge, he's actually going to get caught by Jarvin right there. He does not anticipate him coming in. He manages to flash away, and Jarvin doesn't hit him with the pop-up from the Demacian standard.
Yeah, that was a great dodge.
Bottom lane, Blitz does not quite hit his pull. Really looked like it was going to connect.
Yeah, it did look like it was pull.
Oh, we have Jarvin going up on... No, he's just hanging out in lane, trying to get Jayce down. He almost does, but...
He doesn't have any more health pushes. He really needs to go back. I mean, he has 2 queued up, which is interesting. Normally they don't.
Oh, we have Rammus coming in. Oh, again, he underestimates that Zhao burst. Cataclysm from Jarvin gonna save Zhao from Rammus, and they're both gonna get away from that. Right now, Jayce is overestimating his ability to duke it out with Zhao.
Definitely, and he was definitely trying to bait that out, because I think he thought that Jarvin actually left the lane, but it turns out that Jarvin, he was about to recall, and then he saw the Rammus come up, he's like, oh, I'll hang out for a little bit.
Yeah. The only way to see that play as being logical is to assume that he believes Jarvin was already going to have been back. Meanwhile, we've got Rammus. He's sitting in mid lane. He looks like he wants to gank, but he's not 100% sure. He keeps waddling back and forth. Oriana's got a ward in that brush, so she's not actually worried about anything surprising her. Plus the move speed from her W, her dissonance, is going to help her get away. She's one of the few mains with the mobility to really dodge or Rammus gank without burning a summoner.
And that's extremely valuable for her.
And that's getting tangled up in her creeps, taking a bunch of free damage. Blitz has a poke lined up onto Leona, gets the pop-up, even though she flashes. And then Corki picks up another kill. 4-0-1, 70 CS. Very scary.
That's what I was talking about that attack speed. If you wait too long to use your flash when you get grabbed, it's just not going to work out the way you want. That was just a waste of flash. And I'm pretty sure Leona knew that and was aware of it. I don't know if it was just like a panic flash. That's the only thing I can assume is that it was an actual panic flash.
We have Rammus going up top lane, looking to get a gank onto Zhao. He starts his power ball from far away, gets the pop-up. But he is level 5. Zhao is level 8. He's doing a lot of damage even through the defensive ball throw. He gets the gate. He misses the attack. And Zhao, he's just going to go back in. Knocks back Jayce. Gets the kill onto Rammus. And he's got still a lot of health. He pops his ignite. He's going to get the double kill.
And this is going to be extremely scary for the blue team. Unless Mordekaiser can get that ultimate off late game onto that Zhao, it's going to be really, really bad. Yeah, Zhao does have the initiation, though, so it's definitely possible that he might get a little bit too confident in his ability.
Yeah, he might develop Superman syndrome and charge in and then eat a surprising amount of bursts, because right now, as far as the race between who's getting fed, it's between Corki and Zhao. And even though new Zhao is scary, Corki late game is and probably always will be a beast.
Definitely. Like I was saying before, the two interesting things about this team is that
before he initiates onto them, he just dives in straight onto Leona. Scumbag Blitzcrank picking up the KS with his ult. I'm not sure if that was wise. He knew that that Leona's flash was down. One of the depressing things about these engages, though, is that Leona's the one who's dying. So even though MF would love to stay in lane and continue fighting, she can't because she doesn't have her support. Corki picks up another kill. He's up to 5 kills. We're going to rewind to see what was going on in mid. Maybe need to go back another couple seconds, but Jarvin going in deep. Oriana's picking up Mordekaiser while he's going in for action on his wolves. Jarvin's Demacian standard Cataclysm. Is he going to be in range of the tower? No, it's just all Mordekaiser's magic.
Hey, he wasn't throwing out any of his spells to work up that shield, which is a little bit interesting. Oh, and a great flash coming up from the map.
Doesn't quite matter. Actually, it does. It kept Blitzcrank from getting any kind of assist off that, so it's...
It also forced the flash out of Corki as well, and that's... I mean, if you are behind the least amount of summoner spells that the opponent team has, the better.
Yeah, you need everything you can get. We're going to speed it up and bring ourselves back to current.
Try to, anyway. Yeah, it's very interesting that both of these teams in a solo queue match, their main champions are exactly what they're playing, or their main roles anyway. So.
Actually, I believe... No, this is an arranged 5's game. So the prefix is in front of the name. It's actually arranged 5's.
Oh, that's true. It is an arranged 5's.
That explains a bit.
That does explain quite a bit.
We've got the lane swap coming in. They know that, oh, wow, we have Jarvin coming in for another gank. The combination of Dissonance and the flag pop-up. There is no escape for the man in metal. He is down.
Absolutely nothing you can do about that, which is very unfortunate, but it's a really good combo, and the fact that they're able to pull it off on a steady basis really just proves that they have that coordination that is required.
Jarvin attack moving, clipping the race. I don't know if he's going to be able to get this kill. He's going to be able to get the kill. He activates the Cataclysm right away. It looked like Rammus was going to have the opportunity to get out, especially with defensive ball curl, but he opted for Powerball instead. And that just got Cataclysm canceling it, and I'm starting to question the wisdom of the lane switch. They want Blitz and Corki up there to fight Zhao because Corki is fed, Zhao is fed, but with the Blitz babysitting him, he'll be able to melt him. But the downside is that MF isn't the one who's been falling behind. It's Leona. And Jayce is not exactly a committed range carry. We have a lot of action going up top lane. It's a huge cluster of champions. They're going in to try and make a play happen, but everyone's getting picked up. Zhao, they get the pet pull onto Oriana, but Dissonance goes down and she picks up a double kill on the extremely fed Corki. She was already ahead. That is not good news bears for the blue team.
In the meantime, red team is able to take down that first bottom tower, and they might try to go for the second one. I don't think that's the best thing to do. They should really just start initiating onto that dragon.
Yeah, they could definitely go for dragon.
They have the presence, and they also have
we have Jarvin going in for the 1v1 on Jayce. I'm a little surprised he's so far behind, considering he's 2 levels up and way more fed with red buff, but Jayce Apparently he's more beast-like than we thought. A sniper shot hitting him right in the face. He gets the kill onto Jarvin, so that's going to help him out a teeny tiny bit, bringing him back into the game. But that's another tower down for blue team. They are falling quite far behind in the race. 4.3k gold behind.
Yeah, what this does is it actually prevents the blue team from really showing any presence onto Dragon. Since they don't have any towers to retreat to if things go bad, that's not really good. It's really just going to give red team free reign on the Dragon until the blue team can either counter push and take their first 2 towers. But then again, I really think blue team needs to start concentrating on mid tower and top tower, because then they'll have more of control over Baron, and that's going to be the next major objective. Since it has been 15 minutes, I mean, I don't really expect anything to happen until about 25 to 27, unless it's the red team around Baron, but you never know.
Yeah. One of the major downsides of that switch that they did is that Blitz, as their support, ended up going top, and that lost them a lot of the ward control over the bottom half of the map. Leona's been placing pinks. She's been able to clear out their vision. They're going to get this Dragon under the dead. It looks like they want to start something, but they know better.
Yeah.
Their emphasis is really going to need to be setting up control over the top half of the map so that they can actually get some traction when it comes to the Baron fight that's going to be coming up.
And now it's really going to be based on buff control at this point for the blue team. They really make sure that they keep getting their red buff and they keep getting their blue buff. Because if they start feeding those, especially the blue buff to Oriana and then the red buff to, say, Jarvin, it's just not going to be good times at all. Even the Zhao with red buff. But, I mean, if you give the red team both sets of buffs, it's just not going to end well for the blue team.
Okay, we've got Jarvin caught out behind enemy lines.
I don't know if he's caught out or if he's just going for it, yeah.
Well, it looks like there's only 2 members of the blue team able to try and execute that little yank or piece of aggression. Mordekaiser comes down. Rammus comes powerballing in from beneath. So the ultimate goes down onto Jarvin. The bullet time from MF is going to start doing a lot of damage. Are they going to be able to pick him up? They do. They get the ultimate off. Leona is very low. Rammus is trying to tap his dive onto MF. Oriana comes in a little bit late. He's going to try and get the kill onto Mordekaiser, coming out from MF. That's going to drop the Ghost. Oriana picks up Blitzcrank, and the exchange is actually in favor of the red team. Oh, the ward vision from Oriana knows Corki is there, takes the risk, and lays it down, gets another kill onto blue team's most powerful member. And she decides to pick up some of the creeps in the lizard camp. It's possible she's going to go for it herself or ping for MF to come down there and take it from her. But you know what? When you're that far ahead, after a certain point, you just want to stay far ahead. You don't even really care.
Yeah, I don't think that was a very good fight, especially for the... I think that there's no way Jayce can get out of this. Yeah.
No, he is definitely down.
But yeah, I just don't think it was smart for the blue team to start a fight. I mean, they knew Dragon was down. There's no point of them fighting for this territory because Dragon just went down. There's really just no point.
Zhao gets picked up. The whole Rammus taunts that we were talking about earlier, that's the kind of combo that they're going to need to get later on if they want to have any hope of staying in this. They are tremendously far behind, and members of Red Team are just tower diving them relentlessly. So there's not necessarily a reason to expect that they're still in this game. But if there is a hope, it's going to be based off of that Blitzcrank Rammus synergy into the Mordekaiser ult.
And that is a strategy, despite popular beliefs. You can just feed their AD carry and then make sure you can focus down, get some GAs, and then somehow get that ghost onto their fed carry, and then just wipe up their team. Yeah, I mean, it was shown in the video that CivHD did, and he's relatively high elo as well on the European servers. You know, most of it was just a troll, but it still worked, and that's kind of what's popular.
We have a little dancing around going on. Blue team.
Yeah, red team's just being very confident at this point. There's not really anything blue team can do to stop them right now.
Yeah, in any actual head-to-head fight, red team, purple team, whatever you want to call it, colorblind mode, their damage is pretty substantial compared to blue teams. If blue team gets anything, it's going to be a positional error. And right now, Oriana just whittling Blitz's health down. He's going to be a sacrificial lamb if an actual fight starts before he recalls. And yeah, red team, there's a Rammus, there's a Blitzcrank. They don't care that they're overextended. In fact, Blitzcrank is, or sorry, not Blitzcrank, Zhao is top lane. It's Jarvin is bottom lane. It's 3v5 there in middle, and they're still confidently overextending.
Yeah.
They're treading the line between ballsy and maybe a little crazy.
Although Oriana might come out here with a nice ult with the balls behind them, it's not actually going to happen.
No, she's not going to do
But now
anything.
that they know that she's over there and MF's all alone, she's going to be able to get away just fine with her strut, though.
Yeah, it was looking like an interesting commando positional play from Oriana, but she opted not to, which is definitely the wise move with all 5 members of the blue team there. That Rammus combo with the Jayce gate is going to be really nice for catching people. The main downside being that right now Rammus is so far behind, he's not really able to tank the way he needs to. He's level 9, and Leona, their support, is level 10. There is an initiation onto Jayce, caught out of position. He goes down, relative ease. We have Mordekaiser up in the top right, getting hit by the Cataclysm. Rammus debating where to go with his power ball. Mordekaiser trying to hang in there. The ult is still onto Jarvin. The dissonance goes down. It collapses on 3 members of the blue team. And Zhao comes in janitor style with his mighty mop of Demacia to clean up. And Corki limps away to the mothership for repairs. But red team knows what he's up to. The speed buff coming in from Oriana. It looks like he wants to go in and get him, but he's not that fast.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen at all. There was no way they're going to be able to catch up as possibly I did expect.
Yeah,
it's definitely a good surrender for the blue team. I mean, you could tell the jungler had absolutely no idea. They didn't keep times on their buffs whatsoever.
Yeah.
You could easily tell that every time blue buff spawned, red team was just, oh, hey, blue
they
buff
were on
is
top
here.
of it.
They weren't even, like, on top of it. It was just, it spawned and they just happened to stroll by, it seemed.
Well, one of the
I'm gonna transfer
major downsides is that even if they were keeping the timer, the lack of ward coverage around those areas of the map made it so that it was too dangerous to go alone and try and get their own buffs. And once you've lost that much control and they are that far ahead in levels and farm, you really have to call it GG and save your energy for a new game.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't want to be raging over a game that's already lost. It's definitely not something. It's not something that's constructive to the team. If you know what you did wrong, no. I don't get FPS drops.
Too baller for that.
Are you? I'm assuming yes, but you never know. You could just be asking random questions like a weirdo.
Yeah, we're seeing that. I don't know if it was even a comp-based victory in that case. We had the pick comp with the Rammus Blitzcrank. Anytime red team was out of position, they would have been like Jayce gate, Powerball, Overdrive. There wouldn't have even MF's strut cannot save you from that much move speed buff.
And
but
no, they didn't even need Shirelia's. Like they could have opted for a Randuin's at that point or some other form of
going into a different
AoE support. Yeah, going into a different support, transitioning to something that's I wouldn't say more useful. Shirelia's is extremely useful, but
it would have been overkill.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't necessary. You could have opted for something like a Frozen Heart instead, or something along those lines.
But yeah, we didn't even get to really
quality?
see. We didn't really get to see a team comp battle because purple team just ended up winning out in the lane phase. If Corki had been picking up those kills onto MF instead, it might have been a different issue, because then their carry would have been down. But he was getting all the kills onto Leona. So it wasn't squishing MF's ability to carry and do damage as much as blue team would have liked.
It seems fine. Was it skipping during the game? I don't know.
Sorting out technical stream stuff.
This is why I resisted even going to Twitch to begin with, because they just have so many issues. But, I mean... my upload speed should be fine. Begin test. Yeah, we don't care about download speed. Upload speed. Go. Oh, 4. What the hell? used to get like 12. That's interesting. That could be an issue.
Do we have anything else running?
Not that uploads. Well, I mean, I guess it might be doing some weird capping when I'm streaming. Let me go ahead and restart the stream. I'm going to see if I can